Zack Snyder, the guy who directed 300 and Watchmen, you, sir, have just bombed on a movie.
The beautiful people, the beautiful people. What do you say? Something beautiful, something free. Hey, you are united in pain. You live a life where it's all to be clean. The beautiful people, the beautiful people.
What is up, guys? It is Anthony the Random Mind here to do my review of Sucker Punch. Directed by Zack Snyder, as I said, starring a bunch of unknowns and Vanessa Hudgens, Jon Hamm. That pretty much sums it up. The cast is all unknowns. The only real person I was really impressed with in this movie was Jon Hamm with his acting skills, because Jon Hamm, as always, is always perfect when he acts. He's fucking Jon Hamm. I mean, you can't replace Jon Hamm with anybody. Again, from the guy who directed 300 and Watchmen, what the fuck did you do? I mean, this movie was flat out terrible. How can you make a movie with all girls on the cast who are unknowns except for Vanessa Hudgens and just put them all in a movie about girls fighting imaginary objects and shit like that? This movie would have been perfect for people who were, like, high out of their minds. Like, people who are on coke. Like, you know who would really love this movie? Scarface. Because he's always high on cocaine. He would have loved this movie if he went to see it in theaters. The plot goes as this girl who is like Cinderella. The way that she's like Cinderella is that she's treated terribly and she's like the housemaid. And so she's tired of living at this place that she's been living at and wants to break free from this place. Because, yeah, she just wants to escape because she hates the place. So she gets a group of these girls to help her out, escape from this, like, jail that she, like, probably considers it. And the whole thing is just like a big... It's like Zack Snyder took a bunch of random movies, like, say, The Matrix, Inception, and a bunch of other movies, combined them into one, and ruined this movie. The story was terrible. Like, I'm really lenient on writers for movies, because I have respect for writers. But you gotta be kidding me with this film. It's called Sucker Punch, and it's about a bunch of girls trying to escape from this so-called prison. One of the pluses in this movie is that the girls were actually hot, except for the lead character, because she's decent at best. Vanessa Hudgens, oh my god, she's always hot, even with those pictures online. Those pictures are very nice. And all the other girls were great too. They were hot like Vanessa Hudgens, but their acting skills are subpar. Like, they have to get better on their acting. Like, they're hot and all, but usually with hot actresses, like mentioning Megan Fox, those hot actresses don't really know how to act as much as they know how to be pretty. The direction was okay. I wasn't too mad at this film. Like, I love the CGI in this film, like with all the machines, but it wasn't spectacular, you know, like Inception spectacular, The Dark Knight spectacular direction style. But it was okay for me. It wasn't anything to complain about, but you know, that's just my opinion. For me, this movie was a piece of crap. I didn't think it should have been released. I think it's one of those movies where you watch it once, never watch it again. You just watch it to see how it actually was. Because you got a director, Zack freaking Snyder, who directed 300 and Watchmen. You think, oh, this is going to be a decent movie. But then you go to it and you're like, what the fuck? So anyways, I am going to give Sucker Punch 3 out of 10. It was okay for me. It wasn't, well, it was bad. Like, this movie was bad, but it was, like, semi-decent. Like, don't get me wrong, this movie was really bad. Like, really, really bad, and I didn't enjoy it at all. But it was decent because of the directing. Like, if Zack Snyder hadn't made this movie would be a 0. Like, Skyline. When you got Zack Snyder directing the film, even though the writing and the acting is terrible, you're still going to get a good direction of the movie, like shots and angles on cameras. So it's not that bad. So that's why I give it a 3 out of 10. And that is my review for Sucker Punch. I will see you next week for whatever we're reviewing next week. See you later.